Let's start with the many accents of chameleon Kamala. She can go from Ivy League to the ghetto.
So friends, 64 days. Let's just get through the next 64 days.
She's even pulled out a little Latino heat in recent weeks, but I believe this may be the first time she's tried a Jamaican accent.
Have you no empathy, man?
Yes.
You know, for the suffering of other people. Have you no sense of purpose?
She's so authentic, so likeable and confident. Of course, I jest. Now, Kamala has a man problem, and it's not just Doug and knock him out, Emhoff. No, he's not the only one causing her headaches. But the fact that so many American men, including black men, do not want to vote for her. Now, the reasons are numerous. They're real and valid reasons. But of course, the simplistic take is that these men must be sexist.
What's up, world? I'm determined black man John Jay, and as usual, I'm determined to reach at least one someone that's out there listening to the sounds of my voice, if not each and every one of you are. Hey, y'all, check this out. I know we facing some new times and uncertainty in America as the regime prepares to exchange hands. A lot of y'all out there living in a state of confusion, wondering what's going on. I've seen accounts where we have a lot of women, especially, breaking down. Even some black men I've seen breaking down and feeling some type of way about the presidential
Thank
election.
you for hitting the like button and subscribing.
Now, you know my stance. Then you know I voted for neither party because I'm not sold out to the Democratic Party just because that's what my people been used to doing, and I'm not sold out to Donald Trump because it seems to be some type of movement amongst black men that want to rub shoulders with Donald Trump. You know, I'm not fooled by any of the fakery or the trickery that they have plagued my people with, and it seems that in our ignorance, we fall for it almost every time.
Example, folks, plenty more where that came from. Now let's check in with the man who Kamala Harris handpicked as her running mate, Tim Walz. Here, Tim tries to reload a gun. This is the man they picked to inject masculinity and country vibes into the campaign. They set up this contrived hunt to showcase that masculinity and gun prowess. It's not working out too well there. That is just appalling stuff. We've got a celebrity extravaganza coming. JD Vance on ABC.
The incidents were limited to a handful of apartment complexes, and the mayor said our dedicated police officers have acted on those concerns. A handful of problems.
Only, Martha, do you hear yourself? Only a handful of apartment complexes in America were taken over by Venezuelan gangs, and Donald Trump is the problem and not Kamala Harris's open border. Americans are so fed up with what's going on, and they have every right to be. And I really find this exchange, Martha, sort of interesting because you seem to be more focused with nitpicking everything that Donald Trump has said rather than acknowledging that apartment complexes in the United States of America are being taken over by violent gangs.
Yeah, just a few apartment complexes, nothing to worry about. And here is JD Vance with New York Times reporter Lulu Garcia Navarro, who claims that you can't deport all these illegal immigrants because they work in construction and we need more houses than ever. I wonder if she was against abolishing slavery too. JD Vance treated her questions with the disdain they deserve.
I don't think that many people who look into this agree with you, but about a third of the construction workforce in this country is Hispanic. Of those, a large proportion are undocumented. So how do you propose to build all the housing necessary that we need in this country by removing all the people who are working in construction?
Well, I think it's a fair question because we know that back in the 1960s when we had very low levels of illegal immigration, Americans didn't buy houses, didn't build houses. But of course they did. And I'm being sarcastic, of course. This is one of the really deranged things that I think illegal immigration does to our society is it gets us in a mindset of saying we can only build houses with illegal immigrants when we have 7 million, just men, not even women, just men who have completely dropped out of the labor force. People say, well, Americans won't do those jobs. Americans won't do those jobs for below the table wages.
And to the ladies of The View, the bitter, mean-spirited Delulu ladies of The View, here is Sunny Hostin calling black men, Cuban men who vote for Trump, ridiculous and crazy.
You got 53% of white women that voted for him in 2020. We've got to reach those women. We've got to reach those ridiculous, crazy black men that did vote for Trump. We've got to reach those people. We've got to reach the Cuban men in Miami that overwhelmingly voted for Trump. I don't know what their hearts look like.
I was not voting for the president this year, regardless, no matter who they put in there. Because I feel like until we can organize our vote, come together as one, then they're just going to keep us divided and all over the place. And we'll never
Thank you for
get
hitting the like button and subscribing
We
now.
have to come together in agreement. Let these people know that we really mean business. And I think the best way that you can ever let a man or a woman, anybody know how serious you are is to cut the water off. See, you can't continue to give somebody water and make threats about what you're going to do and, this, that, and the other. Because as long as you're supplying them with whatever it is, then they're going to continue to feed you whatever they feel like you want to hear. And that's how I feel about these politicians. That's why going forward, as far as with the president, I need y'all to show me something in advance. I'm not voting for you based on promises. Because if I look into your history, I look into the track record and see that there's nothing that's benefited my people, or that you even did things in your past that were detrimental to my people, then I'm not going to hesitate to speak against you, and I will damn sure not be voting for you. You know, until I can see something tangible, I don't want to just hear about it no more. They've been selling us dreams forever. Then as soon as we start speaking about reparations and repairing our people, they say they ain't got enough. They can't do it. But you know and I know, we all know there's trillions of dollars going out helping other countries, other communities. Right here in this country, we allow undocumented immigrants to come here and obtain the so-called American dream, while the so-called black people that you know and I know physically built this country, and even some ways mentally, because a lot of our understanding, a lot of our technical understanding was what they used to create what they have today, to make it seem as though we never create anything, because every time that we have, it's been destroyed. But that's another story. I'm telling you now that America is like New Babylon, and it's on its way down, y'all. And so I won't contribute to that. My spirit tells me that choosing sides with evil just makes me coincide with evil. So before I do that, just because somebody looks just like me, which I know a lot of y'all ain't gonna admit that's why. Well, they say they come from the hood, or trying to give me all these false representations of hood activity, or actually trying to act like you can identify with poverty or what it's like to be black, when I know really and truly you're not. Like, that's the worst kind of person to me, perpetrators. And I feel like Kamala tried to perpetrate. She did perpetrate the fraud, pretend to be something just to gain your acceptance. And I feel like a lot of us fell for it because we are so desperate and we desire something so fast, so radical, that we were willing to sacrifice, even to the point of some of us out here actually cracking up now that she did not get elected. Stop putting your faith in these politicians. Stop putting your faith in these politicians. That's number one. Stop putting your faith in these politicians. Get to know yourself. And then ask yourself, who are the most suffering group in these Americas? Now ask yourself, what is this government doing to change that? Because ultimately our goal should be to create peace and freedom for everyone. And in order to be free, one must first be free in his own mind and heart. But when you are faced constantly with abuse, neglect, disapproval, rejection, hate, poverty, hunger, sickness, bad health, and this is what you're surrounded by on a day-to-day basis, then this is who you become mentally. It takes a strong will, something inside that everybody don't have. And it took me a while to understand that. I used to feel like everybody's supposed to feel like I feel. Why can't everybody think like I'm thinking? What's wrong with these dummies? So I took a second look at myself. I said, man, God done gave me something that ain't nobody else really got out here. Ain't too many of my kind. So now I look at myself special. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to put myself on a pedestal, but I look at it as a special gift from God to be able to articulate and to be able to discern.
Thank you for hitting the like button and subscribing now.
Rightfulness opposed to wrongfulness. Because for the mass majority, people out here agreeing with wrong. And they only agreeing in most cases because everybody else is agreeing. I never had a problem setting myself apart. I always did whatever I felt like came to my heart what was best. Nobody ever been able to persuade me really to do nothing that I didn't want to do. I just thank God that he done put this inside of me. And I hope that eventually all this passion and the wherewithal that he gives me, the vitriol that I present to you all, becomes a regular thing. And that's why I ask you all now, share this message, like this message, promote these type of messages, because our neighborhoods, our communities are being destroyed with negativity. The false legends. You're not a legend unless you leave here and leave here better than what you came. Leave here leaving something better than what it was. You can't be a legend just being a killer, a destroyer, can't leave here being mayhem and expect us to respect you as a legend. See, my legends are those like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, Dr. Sebi, however you want to pronounce it. People that were willing to sacrifice their own lives for the betterment of our community, other people. See, a lot of times we tap into Christianity, but not only can we have that life in heaven, but we can have a heavenly life here on earth. But see, somewhere along the lines, some of God's sons and his daughters have to make sacrifices that can bring about that change. And the greatest sacrifice you could ever make is to sacrifice yourself. That selflessness, and that self-fullness is self-fulfilling, in my opinion. See, I'm willing to die for this because I know it's going to better my people. It's going to make a better day for my children and their children and their children to come. And so even if I got to suffer now so that they can have a better life, then that's what I'll do. I'll allow the ancestors to speak through me what they can't say or what they can't show because they transition. I ask every day that they would just in the channel through me and allow the Most High to give me the right words to say in the right way to say it so that I can grab hold of someone that's out there that's listening to me and help them to get the bigger picture of where we need to be headed as black, so-called black people. It's togetherness, people. Can't you see everybody else is together? Can't you see that they trying to, with all efforts and all energy, destroy our families? They don't want to ever encourage us to be together. You look right now, and you see black men and black women arguing over who caused us to lose this election. Who caused Kamala to lose this election? We pointing the finger saying that black men chose to vote for Trump and da-da-da-da-da.
See the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. Now, I also want to say that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers.
He then went on to lecture them about why they must pick Kamala and why any reluctance must be due to what sexist, misogynist monsters they are.
You just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. And you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that. And so now you're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you because you think that's a sign of strength, because that's what being a man is, putting women down. That's not acceptable.
Now, that little rant inspired some feedback from members of the black community, male and female.
I want Barack Obama and every Democrat out there to know you do not own black people. We are not slaves. Our chains are gone. We do not owe you anything, and we don't have to give you an account for how we choose to vote.
The Democrats then unleashed Barack Obama into the wild to shame us black men for not supporting Kamala Harris, despite the fact that she's yet to unveil any policies that represent our interests. But if it was a white politician shaming other white men for not voting based on identity politics, y'all would call him racist. Why is it okay for Barack Obama, Kamala Harris, and all these other people that supposedly look like me? Why is it okay for them to get on TV and shame me for not voting for them simply because they look like me? That is racist, brother. I don't know how else to put it. That is racism. I don't have to vote for Kamala because she's quote unquote black. Just like I shouldn't have voted for yo because you got up there, you tap dance for the establishment, and you ain't do a goddamn for the black people that put you in office. You, brother.
You ain't did a thing for us in the 8 years that you was in the White House. And you think you gonna pop up during an election year and try to scold black men for not wanting to vote for your candidate? Have you lost mind?
I spent 7 years of my life fighting your administration, you and Biden, by the way, for my husband's military benefits. My daughter died because of Obamacare. I don't give a about you.
This message is for President Obama. First and foremost, you're not going to tell me what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to do. Number one, I ain't going to vote for Kamala Harris. I think that she's going to make a bad president. She's a bad vice president. Everything she does, she tries to politicize it, and she hasn't shown the fact that she wants to put America first ever. So I'm not voting for that individual.
What you thought you was doing, Barack Obama? Boy, you didn't step out there. All you did was black men off, bro. All you did was black men off. Why y'all think the American people, why y'all think the Democrat Party own black folk? The Democrat Party don't own black folks, bruh. What you thought you was doing with that? We see the play. We know, we see the play. Kamala Harris is losing. She's not going to win.
The audacity of you to say to us that we are required and we better vote for Kamala Harris and that we don't want to see a woman in a position of power. You're a liar.
Truth of the matter is, majority of these people that did vote hadn't done their homework on either party. And we're basing our reasoning for voting for these particular people off of the wrong metrics. You don't base it off of what a person tell you they gonna do. People tell you all your life what they gonna do and never do it. You gonna sit around and wait, twiddling your thumb? Or you gonna go out there and find somebody that can get it done? We gotta come together, y'all. We gotta put our differences to the side. Stop allowing this government to decide this and that. Creating all these different media frenzies. Got us thinking this and that. And let's look deeper into things instead of going off the surface level things, because it's easy for me to manipulate you if you're only skimming through things. You gotta go deeper. If you're only taking the first thing you hear on the news, or you hear on TV, or you heard on TikTok, or Facebook, YouTube, and you're not doing your homework, then you're a part of the problem. Because you can be easily misled. You dipping and you dapping, and you really don't know what's happening. I say power to the people. I say power to the people. Power to the people, because we've been struggling for so long. Not that we ever lack strength, but I know that in order to endure, in order for us to remain strong, one must be hopeful, and one must know and be factual. See, factual will make things actual. You know what I'm saying? You can't go based on these hopes and wishes. And the fact is that there is a greater man inside of each of us, and your greatest power is knowing that man that's in the mirror. When you look into the mirror, see how I'm looking at you all in this camera view? The camera lens looking back at me. Now I know it's nothing that camera can say to me, but it's a whole lot of things that I can say to me to get my attention, to embed something inside of myself, to reach inside of me and pull something out that takes my mind to another dimension. And the first thing I must do is accept that I am not of this world. So don't get so wrapped up in these elections and who won and who lost, because you never lose if you learn. We need to learn to love one another. Stop allowing people, the same people that has created all this chaos for you, to trick you into thinking that they would ever do anything to help suppress any of the harm that you have been inflicted. Stop thinking that they're going to ever do anything to help repair all the trauma and drama that you've been dealt. It's us versus us. It's us that's got to lift us to higher heights. It's us that's got to keep each other on each other's toes. It's us that's got to educate one another, show one another how to love by example. The struggle is real, y'all, and things only going to get worse. And the time is now. I ain't just saying it just to be saying it. The time is right now for us to take this thing more serious. Stop letting them play on our head, patronizing us, using hip-hop performers to get our attention. Can't no hip-hop rap nobody besides somebody like Chance maybe, or Kendrick Lamar, or somebody, you know, somebody with substance, not just a rapper. But can't none of these other rappers really do anything to help us as a whole. As a matter of fact, most of them are perpetuating the things that's keeping us down and the things that's destroying us the most. The self-hatred. Where we can't stand one another. Where a man would make excuses for his son that goes out here and kills and hurts other people. And he would say that it's not his fault. But he tried. You didn't try hard enough, my brother. You didn't try hard enough, my sister. It's time for us to stop. It's time out for us to stop. It's time for us to stop making all these excuses. Our babies out here dying in these streets. And it seems to me that people are more cool with saying I tried and then wanting to go back and retaliate, rather than using all that energy initially to encourage these children to do something better with their lives before it gets to that point of no return. Now I know a lot of this stuff is just something I say all the time, and y'all probably just get tired of hearing me say it, but I'm gonna continue to push forward. And like I always tell y'all, everybody got emotion, ain't moving forward. Move forward. Even if you fall forward. That's positive. that's gaining something that can help you get further up the road. So don't think I just keep making all these videos just because I feel like making videos. I ain't getting rich off YouTube. I ain't made nothing. But it ain't all about that. It's about me using this platform to reach at least one. At least one. Because that one could be the one that change what my sons and my daughters might have to go through. See, we really finna be faced with the times that some of our great-great-grandparents had to go through. Because things ain't about to get no better no time soon. Now, am I saying there'll never be peace? Yeah, someday. But it might not be in our lifetime. Not if we sit back waiting on somebody else. It's time for us to start buying our own land, investing in our own properties, creating our own businesses and industries. And I know they're going to make it hard. They always have. It always has been. They'll probably try to destroy it. But we can't quit. We can't give up. We got to keep going. It's easy to give up. But it's hard for me because my desire is to see us all win. Even if we got to take some losses till we get there. Sometimes you got to lose to win. And sometimes you win and you really lose. So don't be afraid to lose as long as you learn it. Because if you're learning from what you lose, then you're really winning. Now, I'm a determined black man, John Jay. I'm going to get back with y'all later. May go live from the football game, man. My hometown playing in the first round of playoffs. High school football, Friday Night Lights. Go Jefferson County Tigers. You know, I love sports, but I love my people more. So I'm going to fight for us to my dying day. It's always going to be freedom and abundance to you, my brothers and my sisters. Because I love you. I want to see us all grow. All of us can't be rich, but all of us can be wealthy. And all of us can be in good health if we try. I don't push holistic healing and living an 80-20 life for nothing. It's because the more you practice cleanliness and cleansing yourself entirely, that's mind, body, and soul, then the more he can enter in. And the more that his presence is in you, and the more it comes out. And the more that other people can feel and see the light that you're presenting. And somehow maybe, motivated or inspired to do something better for themselves. At the end of the day, it should all be about peace and freedom for us all. I'm out, y'all. Y'all stay up. Y'all stay humble. Y'all stay good people. I love you. One.